Is it, bitch?
All right, it is live. I like how probably the first word there is going to be the yeah. Anyway, so hey everybody, welcome to episode 1. Are we counting this as episode 1 because it's our first episode together, or?
That's right. This is the episode 1, mother person.
Yes, episode 1 of black and white and a little bit of gray, or some gray, right? S is in there,
Somewhere, yeah.
some gray. Um,
Mm, you know.
For those of you who don't know, this idea was Andre's, really good idea. So Andre, if you want to sort of like explain the main idea of what we're trying to do here.
None. Okay, so I put on the spot here, guys. But the brainchild is that really the reason I said, hey, me and Charlie pretty much talk about a lot of stuff anyway, and why not talk about it with other people so they can see like our opinions. Plus the fact that I'm black and he's white, and actually I was trying to work with that he's black and I'm white in terms of our views sometimes. So it's basically being diametrically opposed more often than not to bring different points of view, and it might take on a similar tone to what Victor and he could do because they're actually the godfathers of the J vlogging and whatever, but it's for a more I think it's a younger take on probably some of the issues. So even though they might be very politically correct, we might not be as politically correct. But I know I ain't gonna be politically correct. I'm gonna just say how I feel. You know what I mean? Because that's what people want to know. Well, so that's why I lose subscribers every time I do a video about people. But yeah, moving on with life. So I'm just here to just to flesh out stuff and so you guys can see how we think outside of the very crappy videos that we produce together. Yeah.
Yes, less produced, more off the cuff, I guess. Hey.
Which is right.
Right. Okay. Hello. By the way, to Travis and Sean, our viewers at the moment.
I don't see the link. Where's the link?
The link is I tweeted out about 15 minutes ago. I guess I should probably tweet out another one, but Jay Pigglesworth. All right, there we go. So I mean, we might as well just sort of hop right in. And if you guys have topics that you want to talk about or you want us to talk about that you don't see already in the description, the video description, you can either tweet them at me or just shout them out in the comments. Tweet them at me and or Andre, of course, and we'll do our best here. So I guess maybe the first thing we could talk about is kind of something that's been ongoing is sort of the push to change the Japanese constitution to allow for so-called collective self-defense, right? So so basically Japan can sort of help out the U.S. In the U.S. endeavors to police the world effectively, right? And I mean, for a long time, it was sort of just theoretical that this change was going to happen, but now the first sort of like major change, I guess, just passed the lower house of parliament. So that's pretty big news, right? So there's a lot of protests going on over here.
That's what the thing in Osaka was about. The protest about no to war, basically.
Right. Yeah. Because people, I mean, a lot of people are not happy that theoretically Japan could stop being quite so pacifist, right? Which is sort of the big thing. And I mean, how do you feel about Andre? You've been here longer than I have. I mean, is it a big deal for you as, I don't know, someone who's going to be living here for a little bit, or just as a citizen of the planet? I mean, what do you think about it?
Here's what I think. I didn't even know. I thought there was some war that Japan was going to start. That's what I thought it was about. So,
sure, yeah.
With the fact that you want to kind of help out the U.S. needs no bloody help, man. The U.S. has done enough damage to the world already.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Sorry, Charlie, but it's true.
No, I mean, I'm not going to disagree.
There has been a lot of damage that didn't have to happen, but because of greed, which is really the root of all of the evil that happens in the world, greed,
right?
And stuff. So I mean, I'm I'm not saying Japan shouldn't have a defense force, like in case someone tries to attack them, they should be able to defend themselves. You know,
Right.
that's quite fine. But to go on an offensive to lend troops to the US, who in turn only use it to get for advantage. Everybody's looking out for themselves, really. And I really don't want to see the already non-existent working class being sent to war in Japan, because then you're going to have a bigger generation gap than you already have. That's why we as foreigners are allowed to come here in the first place. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that in the knock-on effect is that the pensions might be they might raise the pension so that we can cover more of the older people since less people will be working. Those sort of things. But I mean, all I'm saying is just do the right thing. I mean, whatever the right thing is in the situation, just do the right thing. The best thing for all parties involved. That's my stats. Read that. I'm not really for war anyway. War leads to death. So I mean, although death is certain, we can kind of slow down the amount of people that die.
Yeah.
Although actually, we need more people to die because there are too many people in the world right now. So apparently, we need more people to die.
Yeah.
That's food.
Yeah. But I mean, I think pretty much the same way about it. I mean, just coming from the U.S., which is sort of like this military behemoth, right? Where we sort of, at least for a good decade there, like our answer to sort of everything was a military force, right? Military action. And I sort of, and I get it. I get wanting to defend your interest and to promote the interest of your country and everything like that. But at the same time, it's sort of, yeah, man. It's sort of scary to me to sort of think about the possible ramifications, I guess, of Japan sort of becoming more of like a military presence beyond just the SDF and what that has been, especially now, you know, with everything that's been going on with China and the disputes in the South China Sea and the Sea of Japan and stuff like that. So, but I don't want to be sensationalist about it either. I mean, there's nothing to say that this change happens and suddenly Japan is like, you know, back to 20th century, early 20th century to Japan. But yeah, I'm pretty much against armed conflict in general. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's all I'll really say about it. But so I mean, personally, I would prefer to see things stay the way they are. But there is, I mean, there's a lot to be said too of, like, one of the big arguments is about legitimacy and democracy when the way things are now is basically what the U.S. shoved down Japan's throat following World War II. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting, I think. Japan military, yes, Gundams. Dude, if there were Gundams, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. I would say green light the changes immediately. And you? Oh, no problem. And
my computer went right out. Yeah, it just shut down.
Oh, your computer died? Crap, man.
Yeah, basically. So yeah. So I'm on my phone. So that's your boo.
Okay.
My phone, I have a computer on my phone.
Yeah. But yeah, man. As I was saying, if the self-defense force was Gundams, I would say, will you allow foreigners to fight in that defense force? Because I would be down for that. For sure. Whoa, Andre going all evil. But yeah, let's go to the comments here. And yeah, and I think that's kind of a fair point that's made in the comments. Like, it is so easy to sort of take terrorism, and don't get me wrong, terrorism is an issue, but to sort of
use terrorism as a reason to do what you really want, to push your agenda, basically.
Right. Yeah, and it's, yeah.
Fucker. Sorry.
What is that noise?
That's my computer. Go, man.
Is your computer making that noise? I like how our first 2 episodes were either me not having internet or your computer dying on you. That is a positive omen of things to come, for sure.
Of course, which means that we're gonna only get better. Can't get any worse.
No, that's true. Let's talk about, I guess, well, this is sort of slightly related to the United States. The U.S. very recently put out like a its annual human rights report out of the U.S. State Department, and basically what they had to say was that Japan needs to deal with refugees and domestic abuse and sexual harassment better. And also sexual exploitation of children, which is something we'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, and I don't know. I'm always sort of interested when these stories come up because it always seems like the U.S. is being a little sanctimonious about it when they put these things out, right? Like you need to fix this. But I wonder who's putting out a similar report telling the U.S. what they need to change.
No one, because apparently the U.S. still sees that they're the strong, the superpower that they once were. The thing is, America has probably the largest consumer market had, because now China is really the economic powerhouse. China bailed out the U.S. from that without like $1 trillion debt. So the U.S. is indebted to China, but because the U.S. still is very influential. So China just like taking the back seat. China will finance a lot of things, and when they need their favor to be done, you better do it because they bailed you out. So China basically owns half of the world. China actually is going to own Jamaica in the next couple of years, basically, because there was a big thing happening before I left in Jamaica, a set of islands called Goat Islands. And from my understanding is that China wants to develop it as a port, and the promise was that they're going to be jobs. Economic spin-off being jobs. But when you think about it, China is going to hire their own people to work, and maybe the few Jamaicans that actually work there, their impact will be negligible. Then China has the poorest record in the world of countries that deal with environmental issues. China doesn't care about the environment. They just construct and build. So in building the port, they're going to destroy all the ecosystem that already exists there in Goat Island, the unique ecosystems. And so there was a big uproar, but a lot of people didn't know about the Goat Islands before China wanted it. So now they're saying, now that we want it, all of a sudden you guys care about it, So there's a really big tug of war, but Jamaica has already basically given them to go ahead to do whatever they want.
Right.
So China basically looks at third world countries or underdeveloped countries, assists them, and then basically looking to take over like the evil Dr. Evil.
I think that's sort of a story that's been echoed a lot in a lot of different places, it seems like, but I think maybe for example, like I know that a really big Chinese construction company or something was just granted the contract for projects in Australia, and of course Australia is not in the same position economically as Jamaica, of course.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean that seems to be like a common thing. But I mean, there's that's all part of like a much bigger problem is that there's all these like U.S. like American scaremongers like Trump, for example, talking about taking the power back from China, when in fact we handed it to them in the first place, right? I mean, if you want to get down to it, by turning to them for all these really cheap goods and turning away from being a manufacturing society to more of a service society.
Yep.
Whoa.
Y'all didn't see that coming, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Sean, thanks for this, man. We'll definitely touch on this. But yeah, and that's true. As Travis points out, China is moving in on Africa. And it's interesting to see like the tactics, how they so closely mirror like earlier European like colonial action, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Colonialism is not dead, people. It just called something else these days, but
Man, we're gonna be in some trouble.
Yep. Yep.
A monopoly or a major company in an oligopoly is never good for big competition anyway. So
yeah, true.
Man, it's gonna be a long life for some. You know, it's gonna be a while, bro. It's gonna be a while, man. Yeah. So less depressing news. Actually, we're on a depression run today, apparently.
Are you talking about Japan? Or are you talking about Jamaica? Or
Jamaica. I'm just talking about Japan, bro. Today's episode is probably depression filled.
Oh yeah. Well, honestly, I was trying to look for positive, interesting stories, some interesting anime news, but I don't know what sort of commentary we can offer on oh, there's a new anime coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, up to the new anime. I don't really watch everything all the time, but I watch something some of the time.
Something some of the time, yeah. Well, the new summer season just started, I think, for the new anime shows. So maybe there'll be something to talk about here pretty soon.
Yokai Watchi set on.
Yeah. But yeah, Sean, this is a really interesting article / video that Sean Bro shared. Basically, just about how there's a really big problem in Japan with schoolgirls putting out their services for these walking dates, right? Where schoolgirls will be like, "Hey, let's go for a walk and talk and whatever," and as you might imagine, it often turns into something else. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of times it effectively turns into prostitution for underage girls.
Walk and talk, like a Victor walk and talk video.
I don't know if it's exactly well, it's like Victor's walk and talks plus.
I have been on walk and talks and I've never had sex.
Prostitution. Well, I mean, maybe you're not doing it right, But
damn it.
Yeah, and it's a pretty interesting story to talk about, I think, because related to this, just I think just last week or something, the Japanese government approved the law that would go into effect that basically says that you're not it's illegal for you to have to possess child pornography. Whereas before it was just illegal to sort of make it, produce it, and sell it. Right?
Oh.
So now you can't have it either, but the thing is, it doesn't talk about anything that is animated. So you can still find manga and hentai that is it's basically illustrated child porn, right? So and I think this points to the bigger issue, as does the article about the schoolgirl selling themselves effectively is the whole schoolgirl thing here is sexualized in a way that I think is almost unimaginable in other places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We sort of start sexualizing women from a very young age anyway, I think. But I think here in
super
many
young.
ways,
Listen, bro. Listen. No, let me just run in right now. Listen, y'all, mothers, anybody who's watching, the 4 men out here and people who just joined. I love her so much. Anyway, so what I'm saying. Oh, why this light all up in my face? I'm trying to get the lighting. 400. Yeah. So basically, listen, let me talk to the people out there in YouTube land. Listen, please mother your daughters, okay? Yes, in Japan, apparently, you can wear shorts that look like belts at the age of 3 years old. Anywhere else in the world, that's not acceptable. I know you guys don't have much booty, but yeah, you still have a vagina, okay? So wearing those shorts or dresses and opening your legs like it's the shorts you have on is not necessarily being the most ladylike thing ever. And I find it a lot in my younger classes when they're on vacation or holiday. They come and they just open up their legs. They have on a dress. I'm just looking innocently at their faces, and I bend down, pick up something, and I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" I'm like, "Hey, no, 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 no." You know what I mean? And so it starts from that age. At the tender age of 3 or 4 years old, they're not trained to close their legs when they're sitting down. So little things like that, and the older men here are really perverted. Because if you stand up in a bloody convenience store to read porn and just look at it like it's nothing, like when you read a newspaper, that's what they read the manga porn. They're like, okay, okay, oh, that's today, all right. Then, when they get older, you can't tell the difference between a high school student and somebody playing cosplay. Because the high school students are out even at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. Oh, anywhere else in the world, teenagers, usually schoolgirls in uniform, are at home or they're changed into regular clothing, and then you can kind of guesstimate their age. So there's a big issue. The woman here, legs are nothing, but if you show cleavage, is something big. So I think it has to do with how they're socialized to thinking things are normal and nothing sexual about something unless you're showing boobs. But if you're showing legs all the way up here, you're basically showing the lower half of your body. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I want to be careful about veering into an argument that because they're dressing that way, then it's okay to sort of
no. Oh no, sir.
I'm just saying it just sounds a little close to that, to me.
Hey, black man, you just shut your mouth. What I'm saying is, my black brother. I'm joking. I'm stopping right now before I get comments. What I'm saying is, in no way does the way you dress allow for anyone to do something without your permission, or allows someone to approach you a certain way, right? How you dress is how you dress, how you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, whether we like it or not, there's a psychology that is psychology of dress. Something that, regardless of who you are, how you dress connotes something about you or projects an image onto somebody when they look at it. Nobody likes it or not. Charlie, if I walk outside now with a shorts that is just under my balls, very tight and snug, with slippers and a very tight shirt and these glasses, and I go, You're gonna think, do you think that I'm a heterosexual? Exactly my point. Put that aside. No, I could be, but I mean, I'm just saying, would you think I'm a heterosexual walking like, oh yes, I'm fabulous. Yes, don't you like? What? You're not supposed to, but people make their judgments based on how you dress sometimes. And I'm not saying that Japanese girls, because of the way they're dressed, basically allows for them to go into prostitution. What I'm saying is, I think they should be educated about certain things and certain behaviors. So if you have on a skirt, Charlie, you can't sit with your legs looking like you're at the market, wide open. You sit with your legs closed. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. I got you, but maybe to play devil's advocate a little bit here. I mean, isn't a lot of that a little culturally relative to? I mean, these are. I mean, you pointed out like a really good example, right? Like it's not really acceptable to walk out with with awesome cleavage.
Yeah.
But it is to wear really short skirts. But in
hentai, come in.
Right. But I mean, I wonder when we make statements like maybe we should be educating people on certain things. Like maybe that's not like saying maybe we need to educate them on how the rest of the world does this so they can do it the same way. Because maybe I'm not Japanese, of course. So I mean,
well,
maybe
clearly,
it's
Charlie.
not, yeah, I mean, well, actually, side tangent. I went to this like museum thing the other day, and this craftsman was working on like a lacquerware bowl, and just suddenly he looks at me and he asked me, he's like, "You're a foreigner, right?" And I was like, and it just the way the question was asked,
right. Like he wasn't sure.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know if you're being sarcastic or or if I'm supposed to take this as a joke or what's happening here. But I was like, yes, I'm American. He's like, oh yeah, I thought so. I was like, right, okay. But anyway, back to the point. Like, I mean, I am not for little girls or little boys. I'm not for anybody who can't make decisions for themselves being exploited or being dressed in a certain way, or you know whatever. But at the same time, I do want to be careful about saying things like, well, they need to be educated, because what does that really mean? Who from whose point of view and whose values are we educating them with? You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. What I mean to say, all right, you see, sometimes saying something and choice of words is a hell of a thing in English. In any language, choice of words is really something. What I really want to say, see, it's so hard to get the exact articulation you want sometimes. Listen, this is the fact. The world works a certain way, regardless of how we want it to work, the ideal situation. There are a lot of persons who are attracted to young girls. This is another side, so let me go off now. So you know that since they have made LGBT marriage legal, pedophiles now want their thing to be recognized as well, so they can marry girls that are underage and also be able to have sex with underage girls because they're born that way as well. I feared this was going to happen because once you open the can of worms, everybody's going to be pushing. Necrophiliacs are going to want their rights.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's really balance is very key. Balance is a key to life.
Right. Well, I mean, I think though too, like good laws are based on like reasonable commonality, right? Like,
right.
I don't think anybody is going to be like, you know what's a good idea? Let's let people fuck corpses. You know, there's just no, and for anybody who just came in on that note, welcome, by the way. But but you know what I mean? Like there's a line between banning child pornography and banning loving on somebody's dead grandma.
Oh hell no. Yeah. We haven't even talked about that. We're talking about the whole, went off on the point of educating young persons. And it's really difficult. The thing is, they should be able to enjoy the innocence. That's basically, as a child, you're supposed to be enjoy his life as a child. In Japan, that doesn't happen. Why? Because you're studying your entire life and being pressured as you're born out of your mother's womb. You go to school 7 days of the week almost.
Right, yeah.
And so that is why, which we'll go into our next topic very nicely, that is why a lot of adults or teenagers have a lot of depression issues or are repressed. So they turn to smoking and drinking, and that's one of the reasons I feel. I don't know what the statistics will say. I feel there is such a high number of suicides. They're unable to express themselves, express their feelings because they're told they need to be like everybody else that's out there. Because Japan is a homogeneous society, so standing out is not really something that is applauded.
Right, yeah, the nail that stands out gets hammered down type thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So if you better you stand in line, everybody else rather than stand out. And so persons are basically being oppressed, for want of a better word, oppressed. And so while growing up and getting older, that oppression gets greater. Those things inside that they've been wanting to let out stay and eat away until they decide that it's time to to whatever they decide to do. You know, whether it's going on a train with petrol, not paying your rent and burning yourself, and then causing your family to pay what, at least 5 million US,
right? Yeah,
because of the Shinkansen stopping,
yeah,
or jumping off, which is also very selfish in my mind. If you kill yourself, drown yourself, or jump off a bridge or something, don't let your family have to deal with your loss as the death, which is very like high on their list, and then have to be paying out of the ass.
Yeah, you know? See, that was a very. It seemed like a very strange form of suicide for this place, where people are really concerned about tripping over or tripping up others, right, and making their problems other people's problems to do that and knowing what it would mean for your family. But okay, can we pause the conversation, just talk about what's happening in the comments? Somebody saying apparently is Hitler is in the comments. You need to go ahead and get out of here with that nonsense, sir. I don't know. Is this person a troll? Or I don't know what is happening. I don't know what's happening. But yeah.
Just ignore him. Moving on.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel I completely derailed that by pausing it. I apologize. But
it's okay. Go on, Charlie. You can do it, buddy.
Woo!
My Jewish friend. My Jewish friend, Charlie.
I'm not Jewish, but I am not offended by being called Jewish, so do as you will. Yeah. So I guess back to the root of the story. I mean, it's a little mind-boggling to me that it's just now that possession of this sort of material is being criminalized. But also, I mean, yeah, why are you not criminalizing it in all forms then? Like I don't understand what makes it so much different to have actual child pornography and stuff that is created to simulate it. Like, I mean, is there morally a big difference? I mean, I guess there is, because nobody maybe is being victimized in the case of the illustration, right? But at the same time, I don't know. I'm kind of really quite conflicted on the whole thing.
It's really something, bro.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know.
I know a country that is so much to do with the legal stuff. I mean, sorry, let me just get this guy. I mean, for a country that's supposed to be so developed, something as lewd and as crude as child pornography, seeing that almost the entire world is trying to get rid of it, I'm going to get rid of it because it still exists, because persons find ways around it, and human trafficking and underage stuff, because there is a huge market for young persons. I want to say persons.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the persons who are indulging in this sort of thing are persons of influence, affluence, and wealth. And it is really shocking. I'm sure that if you find out who are the persons that are actually into these sort of things, you'll be shocked, because it's something that you find as very old persons older persons, big adults looking at young people. I mean, if it's teens looking at teens, whatever, you get me. But you're a 40-year-old man looking at a 12-year-old girl,
right?
11-year-old girl.
Yeah, and I mean, it is sort of disheartening that those are always the stories. Like it's a teacher who had something discovered on his computer, or a priest or something, right? It's never.
Oh Lord,
but that also makes much better. That also makes much better news, to be honest, I think.
Yeah, but yes, because that apart from the CEO of a company who sponsored the child's school, you understand me, or paid for the scholarship, it's really, let me tell you, media, as we all know, media is controlled by whoever. I don't know who, but it's controlled by whoever wants news to come out. So you never get really the full story.
People with money, people with lots and lots
of money.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, man, I didn't want to talk about it. Pedophilia is really, listen, Japan, Japan and pedophilia, why it's not even that, it took so long. Students have relationships with teachers, high school students especially. High school girls have relationships with male teachers. Okay, and if once you hear, this is the code they use. If they say, I have a crush on this teacher, that means they're having sex with them. Usually, they're 15 or 16, but it's usually the Japanese teacher, which is okay. The minute a foreigner even has a girl touch him on his head and say, "You're a good teacher," or high touch, there's an issue. So foreigners are warned not even to look at girls at the high school anyway. The Japanese people, they don't really care about them. Foreigners, you dirty guys, and why are you touching my daughter? You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just a thing that there's a lot of underlying culture that is not exposed. Underlying and exposed. Andre, why you sound like an idiot? Lord, English fails me when I'm in Japan. Okay, so what I'm saying is there is a whole subculture in Japan that people who don't live in Japan will never experience or never hear about. Japan projects this image of innocence and purity and what are this others? And all these wonderful paragons of virtue. Not saying that every country doesn't have its bads and ills, but Japan, although they say they're not highly sexy, they're a very highly sexual nation. Meaning there's a lot of around, easily accessible as well. Sexuality is easily accessible. Image of, I don't know, shy, no, sex, no. Please, a lot of it is a facade that gets broken down when you stay here for a long time and you see. I mean, there are no clubs in Toyota City, but there are many Opai bars. Okay, lots of them. You know what I mean? So those are the things. People who are married go there and squeeze a breast and whatever else they want to do, and then they go back home to their wife after. You know what I mean? So yeah, and the idea of infidelity is really big here. I mean, marriage is really just a contract, a business arrangement basically in Japan. So lots of infidelity. I can speak about that because never mind. I don't want to go into the marriage thing, because might open up a can of worms you don't want to open up tonight. We have lots of episodes to go, bro. I would want to kill everything in one night, and nobody else watches us for the rest of their lives. So,
yeah, we'll save that. We'll save that for a slow night, I guess.
Yeah, well, there will be a slow night with us, bro. There's too much going on. You know what I mean?
Too much excitement.
Too much excitement. Suicide time, right? Suicide
yeah,
time.
let's get off the child porn thing and let's go to the
even more depressing.
Thing.
Yeah. So you want my suicide story first or your suicide story?
You go for your suicide story.
Okay, so I was like idling on the internet as usual because that's what I do. I don't go to bed until 3 a.m. So you all know that I'm up doing anything. If you want to hit at me, I'm an insomniac kind of, so I don't go to bed till 3. So you can just message me. I'm lonely at night, so message me anytime you want. My line is down the link below. No, it isn't. I'm lying. Okay, let's go. Moving on. Because some people have people to talk to, I don't. So it's whatever.
What is happening?
Okay. I don't know. It's one of my rants. These are the epic rants. This stuff you can't unsee. This is legendary stuff in the making right now. Anyway, so apparently one of my favorite restaurants in Japan, Saizeriya, because it's mecha yasui, very cheap. And I always look at some of the nice cute ladies there, very cute, and but I don't do anything because I'm shy. Andre is shy. Believe me, folks. This is an exclusive. Andre is the shyest person you ever know. Anyway, so I was reading online that a Saizeriya worker's family is suing the company because apparently the manager at that branch has been sexually harassing her for months, which led to her eventual suicide on her veranda. Yes. She was getting touched and I guess molested or whatever and verbally abused, and he always scheduled her working hours to be the same as his so he could have his way with her or whatever. And she eventually killed herself because in Japan, that is the second best way to solve anything. You know what's the first best way? Rock, scissors, paper, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So the first best way to solve anything in Japan is rock, scissors, paper, or junket. Then the next step is you kill yourself. I'm not even joking. I mean, I was like, what?
That is a dark turn. That is
And
the dark turn.
yeah, it's from the lightness. Rod says everyone, oh, I lost. Okay, I'm gonna kill myself. But the thing is, though, not to make light of the situation, but seriously, they had apparently reported these cases of harassment to the company. Nothing was done, and the young lady felt that the best way to get out of the situation was not to quit her job, but was to commit suicide. Because apparently the value of her life was cheapened by the fact that somebody was touching her or whatever else he was doing. And I was like, you know what, Charlie, I need to talk about this because I mean, if this is the thing, in Jamaica, if I had a sister or a cousin and somebody was doing something to her repeatedly and the company wouldn't do something about it, you'd hear about me in the news because somebody would be severely beaten up or close to death.
Right.
You understand me? You don't do things like that, bro. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where to get off, man. Power is a hell of a thing. Power corrupts a lot of people. So because he's a boss, he feels he can get away with it and he's untouchable. And now a girl is dead. You don't know. She could have been the next. What's that female singer? She could be the next AKB40. No, no, she wouldn't actually. No one wants to be. She could be the next J-pop sensation. I love my Tebasaki. I don't know. I don't know what should have sung, but yeah, you know what I mean. So
the chicken wing song. Okay.
chicken wing song.
Yeah.
So that was my story. What do you think about that? Killing yourself after someone has fondled your parts or whatever.
I mean, I think it speaks to the difficulty of women trying to be heard here when problems like that happen.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that's not something that's reserved or special about Japan, I think. You can probably throw a stone and no, I'm going to mess up this analogy, so I'm not even going to try. I'm too tired. But basically what I'm saying is that in any given day, you could go on Google and probably find a story about a woman who is trying to make a report about an attack or an incident, and the school or the police or whoever was just like, oh, whatever, like, let's forget this ever happened type thing and brush it under the rug. And so in a lot of ways, it's no different here. But just from observation, I mean, that sort of speaks to that gender relations, I should say sex relations here they feel to me almost like what you would see portrayed in like a really horrible 1950s movie, right? And it's changing.
Or in a Lifetime movie.
Yeah. I mean, like it feels to me. It feels to me like that part of society is sort of decades behind many others, which just in how women are still perceived and how they should be and everything. I'm no way saying that, for example, if you go to the US, like, guess what? Women are going to be equal and not have to deal with systemic sexism and the high chance of violence and harassment and things like that. That of course is true, but I think it may be worse here, just from observation, for sure. Yeah. Man, we have all the happy topics tonight.
Oh yeah, because that's what we do. We bring the real stuff.
I keep hoping for somebody in the comments to be like, did you hear about this awesome happy story where like somebody dressed as Hello Kitty like rode a pony through Shibuya giving small children free presents? That'd be a wonderful story to talk about.
All right, I have a wonderful story to come up with. As you know, I wanted stuff that's gonna make people like, oh my god, I hate you guys sick my stomach. But that's what Hitler did when he came in. So I guess mission accomplished. Okay, your turn, Patty.
Yeah, so related to the suicide story. Actually, this is a story about Fukui, which is kind of rare. In Fukui Prefecture, there's like a really famous sightseeing spot called Tojimbo, and basically it's like this really scenic like cliff overlooking the Sea of Japan where you can go there and swim and hang out and be friends with people. My talking is good right now. But it's also like one of the most popular suicide spots in Japan, where according to this article, there's like up to 100 people a year like dive off the cliffs and into the water to kill themselves. But there's this guy who is being featured as part of a new documentary, Yukio Shige, who a 70-year-old retired police officer who goes to this place like really regularly and just talks people down, right? And so far apparently he saved 500 people in 11 years when he's just been going to Tojimbo to be like, hey man, what is that Third Eye Blind song? Oh God, wish you would step out from that ledge, my friend. And yeah, he's been saving people, so that's a pretty cool story. But yeah, man, suicide is like a big deal over here for sure. Waits for a response from Andre. Thinks he disconnects. He's still there. Don't go kitty.
I'm still there. I was looking lost in the comments a while ago. Damn. But there are many, isn't there a suicide forest or something?
I wish I could remember the name of it. I feel like it's somebody tell us in the comments. Suicide forest.
Yeah, and they're like suicide clubs.
Yeah, Aokigahara.
They're suicide clubs.
Yeah, Aokigahara.
Oikinohara, Oikibi in the forest. Okay, so forest of death. That's what it is. Literal translation.
Suicide. No, well, I mean, yeah. It's called, I guess it's regularly referred to as the Sea of Trees or the Suicide Forest.
No.
Yeah.
So I was saying that there are even suicide clubs in school. No one gets out alive. But I couldn't resist. I didn't get a laugh. Wow, that's really bad.
Sorry, no, I was responding to hold your colors in the comments. So
There's suicide clubs in school. No one gets out alive.
You're on fire.
I'm on fire, mother. So what about this person that is the legitimate investigator, like, the super cop?
No,
I mean that would be a real nice job to have. I mean, I'm sure the demand is high. We need one in each bloody train station in all of Japan. You know what I mean? Suicide. I stop suicides so that your family doesn't have to pay for all the trains. Sorry, I don't know where that went. Why that went so far left a while ago. Sorry. I just found out that Wikipedia is cheating on me with you, and I really feel bad because I loved her first. That's really it. And I thought I loved her the best. Anyway, moving on. Don't want to get caught up in things in persons and stuff that doesn't need to be spoken.
Yeah, but they. I don't think that's such a bad idea to have like actual paid suicide cops. They get paid to go out and to like these really popular areas instead of just letting a guy volunteer to do it. But yeah, I don't know if posting cops at the stations would do anything. You need to actually post them on the train lines, right, and tackle them at random spots before they hop in front of the trains. Yeah.
Oh, I found something. So apparently, Japan is xenophobic, right? So apparently, there has been a xenophobic wave of tits targeting illegal Korean residents. So apparently, it was a rumor, internet rumor, that hundreds of thousands of ethnic Korean residents are to be deported, has seen immigration bureaus nationwide deluged with tips from bounty seekers and others about neighbors who in fact remain legal residents. You get what I'm saying? These people want people out of their country so bad. When we move out, who's going to give them their pension, bro? They don't understand how important we get it.
Actually,
but thank God, I got my legal card. Bitches, you can't get me out of your country until I want to leave. Boom.
Boom. Actually, when I was down in Kyoto this past weekend with Dances with Cranes, he was saying that up until pretty recently, they had signs around that were like, look out for suspicious people coming up out of the water. Right. The implication being that there would be Koreans, enemy Korean folk appearing out of the water to spy on and or attack Japan. Which I thought
Japan just needs to stick to their damn sushi and natto and leave the international relations to somebody else. It's annoying.
Wow.
It's so annoying.
Wow.
I have to admit that was a stereotypical comment. That's where I came super dark mode right there. I wasn't even in my final form yet. That was just like level 1.5.
Final form. Indeed.
I'm not even in my final form, and you're rather impressed. Wait till you see the rest. Yeah, but it's really interesting that a country that requires so much input from foreigners is so against foreigners. You know, foreigners meaning in the Western world, but any form of foreigner. And sometimes I guess people say ignorance is really bliss, and I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think a lot of the reasons they have done this is unfounded. Do you notice that I don't watch Japanese TV, by the way? But for the time that I do see the Japanese television, when I'm out at restaurants and stuff or izakayas, they're only Japanese people on the TV. And it says something. I think they are very afraid of other people being in the spotlight and being more entertaining than them, and being almost nantoka. What I want to say? What I really want to say? There's another world out there. They think that they are the world. They feel that this is the zenith of existence.
I think though. I mean, I don't know if that's entirely fair criticism. If
that's
only,
the point.
Yeah.
That's
no.
The point. That's the point. I'm just being unfair. Like what they're unfair. It's kind of like symbolic thingy. But you're supposed to bring those six splits, right?
Yeah.
I'm just being incoherent right now.
I mean, the thing is, Japan is what 98.5, 98.9% ethnically Japanese, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there is no lens in which Japan societally can look at issues of race in the same way like a place like the States or the UK or places with like all of these different peoples can sort of understand the issues that sort of come with that, right? And the history of like Japan can't have any context for systemic racism, as in the case of the US, for example, right? It's not possible. But that said, to respond to the other thing about not wanting to put people who are different on TV, there's a really large contingent of very popular Japanese TV stars who are like half, right? They're half, or they're African American. Not African American. That's stupid. Not all black people are African American. All right. But black mixed martial artists or singers or stuff like that. So I don't know if that's necessarily true, but it's also like if you have 10 knives in a drawer, right? And 7 of those knives are this is the worst. This is the worst analogy because I can't keep with it. Basically, what I'm saying is
yes, right, I was wondering where you're going.
Yeah, all right. So basically, what I'm saying is, if you put your hand into the drawer, right, and you want to pull out the 3 knives that are butter knives and not steak knives, what are your chances? I'm saying like the pool you can pull from.
7 to 10.
Right. It's sort of
0 to 10.
Yeah.
30%. You want butter than steak? 30%.
Right, but maybe I should have marked that lower to make it more interesting, but to make it more
So
accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. I got what you're saying. But guess what? The only way you get ahead in this country, we can speak Japanese well, and that's really the fact of the matter. That's how the cookies crumble. Cookies? Oh Lord, I've been in Japan too long. That's how the cookies crumble.
Indeed, Walter Cronkite. Yeah, but I mean, also, I will say that there's probably a world of difference between our experiences here, right? For some rather visually obvious reasons, I would say, and it's something you've talked about a bit too.
I haven't yet. I'm waiting to unleash that video, bro. I haven't recorded it. Being really black in Japan because everybody is so nice and then you know what? No one's sudden trade. I'm just gonna be raw. Like most of my videos have been just on hitting people for 6s and 12s and home runs. I'm just talking because everybody is all about, oh my god, you know, Japan is this and that. Guys, just talk. I mean, you don't have to be like always PC and oh, Japan is really interesting place. You know, Japan, you can say, yo, Japan has some really messed up ways, just like every country. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's really whatever because I guess you gotta tend to your subscribers or your audience. But I just want to be true. I don't know how that came in, but it just seemed appropriate at the time. Sono ato.
You're a beautiful human being. But
yeah,
we are on Andre's wonderful musical moment. I think we should aim to wrap this up. We're getting towards midnight here. So do you guys have any topics you'd like us to touch on or any questions for either of us before we sort of wrap things up?
Yeah. Please tell us. We should have a hangout. It's been a while.
It's always awkward when you ask for questions though on the stream because then you have to fill space for 40 seconds until it catches up, right?
Yeah, because I'm still singing. Just keep singing. Just keep singing. Just keep singing. Me must have. We know hold your colors. We know no place is perfect. Come on. But
yep.
Oh, look at him. He thinks I how sad. Hold your colors. I'm just saying it's not negative. I'm just giving you the other side of what everybody else is saying is positive. Everyone talks about positive, so I said let me talk about the negative. Gotta be different. Gotta stand out. But yeah, it's a good place. Just like everywhere else in the world, it has its ups and downs. So it's whatever. Come on.
Yes, cricket sounds indeed, Bernie. Cricket sounds for the questions. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining the first official successful stream here.
How come you have a thumbnail on your thing? Where's my thumbnail? You know what, Charlie? You're just selfish. You just wanted everybody to come on here. Next week it's your channel again. I can't bother. I feel lazy.
Yeah. So next week we're going to switch channels. The stream will be on Andres. Same time next Wednesday, 11 p.m. JST. Monday, to plug my channel a little bit, Wikipedia and I are doing a live stream at 10 a.m. JST, which will be Sunday night, 9 p.m. EDT for my brother who's in the comments and anybody else who's interested in checking a stream. But
I'm so pissed right now. I'm so pissed.
Why are you pissed? Really, enlighten us.
She chose you, basically. She
didn't choose me. It just sort of worked out, you know.
She chose you, bitch. She chose you.
Well, you know, it's the chin.
All right,
I guess. All right. Anyway, but yeah, thanks guys. Thanks always for watching and for sticking with us through the technical issues. And talk to you guys soon. Good night.
Sure.